there's a huge difference. I would love to have a good video archive footage of the first time we were in the studio up till now. And the first time we recorded our first independent record was literally in a friend's basement. He had a fairly nice, rig for a guy in college, and set up drums and bass, and it was frustrating trying to get through anything. To now, when we can really focus on the little things. You're not focused on getting through a track. You're focused on how to improve things, and working with the same team on the last two records is huge because you get more comfortable with them and they get more comfortable with us. So it just feels like it's a lot more open to try things.
Yeah, when you're in the studio, it's an incredibly vulnerable feeling because you're creating music and you really want to feel this creativity, and it's an incredibly vulnerable place to be. And there's a lot of pressure that goes around recording a new record. And so I think as time has gone on, we've realized, how to not be a nervous wreck before you go into to really being comfortable with being creative. When we found out that part of the Throwdown Tour was going to be canceled, at first they hadn't told us which cities, and then once we found out that Dallas was one of the cities, and that was one of the biggest shows that we were really looking forward to because the Dallas-Fort Worth area, North Texas, that's one of our biggest markets, and we have a great fan base there. And so when that show was canceled, we started, and this was only a couple weeks before the actual date, and we started bouncing around ideas. Well, let's do like something special for those fans, a special show. And then it ended up, somebody said, well, why don't we do this outdoor show at Lone Star Park? And I think we didn't even start publicizing it till about a week before the show. And when it was one of those nerve-wracking shows where you just hope at least a few hundred people show up. 20, I'll be happy with anyone. And when that many people showed up, I don't even know what the number was, 15,000?
19,000 and change is what we're going with.
So it was incredible to know that many people with that short a notice cared enough about our music to come out. It was really nice to know that we beat the number that would actually have, I think that would have been over capacity for the
Throwdown Tour, yeah.
For the Throwdown Tour, so.
And we didn't know what to expect. We literally flew into that show like an hour and a half or 2 hours before we got on stage and played, so we didn't know if it was 2,000 people or nobody or if it was 20,000 or whatever, so we kind of got there and we're like, oh my God, got on stage and played.
I don't think the way that the record's going is going to affect the way that we make records. It might change the way that it's marketed in some ways. Like for this record, we had everything recorded, and just timing-wise, it wasn't going to be till August till we were able to put it out. And the label came with this idea of putting an EP out with a few of the songs ahead of time, along with Crazy Girl, as the first single. And whereas we always love the idea of a whole record and getting that in your hands, this allowed people to get the music a little sooner, which we love. And those songs will also be on the record, and they might make more sense in the record because it'll be all in context. But I don't think it doesn't affect our process too much, and we still love records. But I understand why people want just this song or that song. There's a lot of great music out there to choose from, and we hope that we have a lot of great fans that want to have the whole record because we're going to go out and play all those songs live. So if you want to know what we're doing, you should buy the whole record.
Choosing radio singles it's pretty tough. I mean, I don't, when we make records, we have such a passion for all of the songs, for me personally, I know for all four of us, we really get attached to all the songs, and so, when it comes down to us having any kind of input on what song to release, we tend to be a little bit biased, and so we really sit down with with our managers and everybody at the label and really try to decide, what song we really what song feels right for the time, and Crazy Girl was an easy pick. I think we all felt really, really strongly that needed to be the first single. But in the past, it's been a little bit harder because, so many songs were bouncing back and forth back in the day, and I think Love Songs was, an incredibly great pick for us to release. But When It Rains kind of picked itself, at the end of the day, and Guinevere was one of those songs that kind of picked itself. But there are, a lot of songs that we feel should actually get released, but then again, we're biased.
I think as important as it is that the four of us have the majority of say of what gets put on the record as a whole, I think it's equally important that we don't have the whole say on what is the single, because we don't, we have our own aspect of where we're looking at it from the inside the band, and so there's a lot of people, outside people to ask, and sometimes the best people to ask are people that are outside the music industry. Yeah. Those are the people that are going to be, pushing it on radio. Yeah,
so we just try to go about it. We want to make the best record we can, and we want to love every song on the record. And what gets released to radio is one of those things. We love every song, so
as long as it's getting played,
yeah, just
it's
take
good with
one.
us.
Hopefully there won't be as many breakup songs on the next record. We'll say that, since we're all getting married.
Yeah, I think that songwriting, for sure, it definitely influences what kind of songs we write. But hopefully it doesn't change much musically.